getting right into it tonight. Faith and God. Maybe it's better for me to say God and then faith. Probably going to go a little bit off the rails tonight because, to be honest, I am actually not exactly sure how this is going to come out, though I must try because it fascinates me. And as you know, whatever is really picking my brain, I try and bring it here and give it to you so it can have the same kind of effect where you just consume all of this as food for thought. It's definitely one of those episodes. And I say that because faith seems to be so intangible. Definitely not something you can pick up and mess with this and just actually be able to hold, oh wow, this is how heavy it feels. Okay, this is the shape, this is the color, this is how it smells. It's just not perceivable by human senses in this way. Yet the most, if I correct me if I'm wrong, we're really bringing out the Christian kings tonight. So by all means, you let me know. I'm not trying to get blasphemous on here, though, to the best of my knowledge. And I have some Christian mentors myself. Maybe they will disagree. I'm trying to channel them right now as I do this episode tonight. It's okay. Faith is arguably the most important core ingredient. If you are going to proclaim yourself as a born again believer, a Christian, a Catholic, a devout follower of God, or it I love down with Christ, right? And so first and foremost, you really have to believe. And what is it that allows a Christian to believe in God? Well, it seems to me absolutely nothing. Nothing. Okay. Nothing is definitely a shallow, surface level examination of really religion and theology itself. I just mean the whole idea of another being up there beyond everything that you and I know exists, right? Outside of existence. Now, I know I am well aware, at least I hope so, of the gravity of that statement. Okay, all right, wow, nothing. Kumo, you Christian, bro? You gonna say nothing? I say nothing because I know done some research myself, and the historical events are dope. I mean, not exactly what happened. What I mean is the importance of actual past occurrences and the miracles. Oh, all sorts of miracles. Some miracles are actually, wow, so freaking epic. I just have to say that some of these miracle stories. I mean, just you go on YouTube, check out, like just hear about a couple of these miraculous events, and it is my eyes were very wide, and the testimonies. Oh, there's probably even more testimonies on both ends of the spectrum. Oh, I'm a believer because I had this encounter with Christ. I'm a believer because I was surrounded by an army of demons. Both ends of the spectrum. Tons and tons of testimonies. This is all great stuff. I'm a big fan of the Almighty, so for me, I'm biased. But I say nothing because I'm not so sure, even up until today, present day, it's almost Halloween of 2025. November is almost here. And the world is changing rapidly. We are seeing just uh, exponential changes in innovation and progress for tech and AI. Really, our planet is spinning faster than it ever has before. And so, even with all of this knowledge, with all of this data, okay, I mean, collectively speaking, the most brilliant members of our species putting their minds together and being able to come up with irrefutable proof. I mean, this is just concrete and solid evidence right here. I don't know. I literally don't. So I mean, if you do know, please, please, put that in the comments or DM me. I would love to know that there such evidence and proof does not exist. Okay, evidence and proof of that with absolute certainty there is a being like God that exists separate to and outside of our universe. I have this is I have a very elementary understanding of all of this, so you're really going to have to bear with me tonight. It's just, unless I'm mistaken, for God to be God, he has to. He's got to be outside of it all. He cannot. He literally can't even be in this universe. I mean that works. That definitely works in my head, because for God to be within this universe, I'm talking everything. I'm talking I'm talking the most cutting edge theory and findings of space and time and matter and all that. What's the spiciest stuff nowadays going on with all my science kings? Is it dark matter? Is it something like that? Are they still pushing the boundaries of string theory? Ooh, I'm going to be reaching all night. This is actually, I'm already a little bit out of my depth. I should have thought about that before I went on air, but it is far too late now, isn't it, bro? So I'm just going to I'm going to start dropping terminology and buzzwords that make me sound like I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. So yeah, dark matter. Yeah, the matter that is dark. And string theory, maybe they working with some like knots and you know, uh string that is silly or not. I'm going to stop. That is the that is as far as the human mind has been able to push it. I don't know if that's going to, you know, so logically and perfectly connect with the fact that dad, of course I mean God, that's my little personal nickname for Yahweh. Dad's really right there. Just no biggie, just stone throw, right? Just out on the outside of existence itself. And how that is cemented in the mind of a believer is through a connection of faith. So it's not that faith proves Father is there. To me, faith is the only way Dad can be there. And that might not sound that might not sound, that might not be easy on Christian ears for me to say that. Because Q, the atheists, the non-believers, people just of different religions, I don't know, Christian haters, cue them all. I can hear it. I can already hear it rumbling in the distance. Delusion. Isn't my audience mostly Zoomer? Okay, then I'll say, Delulu. This is religious Delulu. Oh no, Kumo's one of them. Oh, you bet I am. And yes, maybe. Um, is it also illusion? Is it also illusory? Okay, I don't see what you see. Oh, I mean, right? I mean, the jokes go on. Sky Daddy, fairy tale, they keep going. Because at the end of the day, I am trying to reconcile with this sheer distance between myself and I acknowledge how infinitesimally microscopic I am. You too. We are quite tiny, bro. Like super, like really, really small. Even on this planet. Okay. And then I saw a video the other day that really made me be like, what's the point? Like, why am I doing any of this? Those videos, they get so nihilistic so fast because it's then like, this is you. And here's Earth. And obviously, I'm an ant on this rock, but then they had to make the rock look like an ant in this universe. But it's not even an ant though. It's like one atom in the ant. It's like something like that. It's honestly probably smaller. That magnification goes deep, bro. It goes really deep. It goes so deep I get unsettled. I actually get scared. Yeah. I feel uneasy. You see what I mean? The nihilism creeping up into my heart and soul. Wow. So, do I even really have problems? Because I feel like I do. I wake up every single day and I think about my problems, and yeah, I get sad, I get happy, I get I get down bad. Okay? Ask your friendly neighborhood Zoomer what down bad means. Yeah, I go through it. The whole human experience all the freaking time. And that's how small they are. And I am, and all of us are in the grand scheme of things. So you want to talk about distance? I mean, it's not even distance. It's the measure of eternity. Father is forever away. Something like that. And yet believing is somehow faith in and of itself in a very vibrational, emotional, okay, neurological way. Faith is this instantaneous connector between you and the one who is above all of it. So the justifications of chalking faith up to be truly nothing more than figments of human imagination. I'm not here to debate that. I would love to be able to. Maybe one day, a man can dream. That's definitely not today. I just really wanted to go on air tonight and say, good Lord, that's got to be the best. That's got to be the most potent. This has to be the most joyful, the most peaceful. Oh, I know you see it. I know you are already ahead of where I'm trying to take you. And so I'll freeze it real quick because now that you know what I want to say for the next few minutes, my thing, my fascination here is, well, how does that happen though? Like, really? Okay. Is this not the singular greatest difference between a believer and a non-believer? That is simply faith. You have one that would say, of course he's real. Talk to him every day. Big fan. I love him. Yes, find him and follow him. And then you have a non believer who would say, no, I am not going to close my eyes and talk to myself. I'm not, no, I do not hear any other voices in my head except my own. No, I don't see anything but clouds and the sun. And now I'm going blind. Something along those lines. Who is lying? Who is right and who is wrong? Who do you really believe? This is a very callous calculation of the whole idea of there being a God. The entire concept of theology itself. If you and I could step away from all of this for just a moment, where I simply want to note now here's what is real, because the faith really, one last time, you really can't pull faith out of your pocket like that. I can't take you somewhere and show you faith. You are not going to be able to open up a part of yourself, even if you could do that safely and painlessly. Yeah, no, we can't. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, that's just not a thing. And be like, right there's the faith. No, it just doesn't work like that. It really does it not come down to, trust me, bruh. Okay, I know God and I love God. Okay, but then I've really seen people go through it. Life does some pretty nasty things to any human being that is going to be born into it. There is just so much. This is what cannot be denied. And there's no words needed when I say this, because you don't have to take mine for it. You can just go walk around somewhere. You'll find it. I'm going to promise you on that one. I'm not able to make too many promises on Pillars of Man, but that one I absolutely do. Maybe for some of you, it'll be as soon as you leave your home, as soon as you walk outside. Maybe for others, you'll be walking for a bit before you run into it. But eventually, that's the promise. Oh, you will. You will run into the horrors of this world. You will run into the very real evil that exists, the chaos, the brutality of it, the merciless nature to the human experience. And people, when they do not know of God and they don't believe, and then we're able to see them go through that transition where they then become a person that does believe now for whatever reason. Oh, pick your testimony. Maybe you have one. I got mine for sure. And it's most often some sort of completely life altering event that just it's always very unexpected. It's always, a lot of them are life and death. It's always something very extreme, because life has this way of taking any human being in some way, shape, or form to an extreme. You know, I don't care how strong you are, how tough you are, who you are. For as long as you are a human being, life will find a way to take you to your breaking point where you are not going to be okay. You're just not, it's not possible. You try as you might, you are not going to be all right. That's life. That's a guarantee in life. And then you bring forth this intangible substance, essence, really whatever it is. Oh no, man, what are we talking about here? What is this? What are these airwaves that are vibrating in a particular fashion to unite a human being with the grand creator? I don't freaking know. It's just when you inject it into the equation, now you have a remarkable byproduct that is very difficult to sustain without faith. That is hope. Hope, I'm saying hope is coming from this idea that one must believe, have faith in, that a certain outcome based off of any situation, no matter how evil, how horrendous, how disgusting, how heinous, vile, and wicked that situation could possibly be, that there remains undoubtedly and for certainty a positive or beneficial outcome of some kind. Because, based solely off because that human mind is choosing to have faith, is making the conscious choice to redirect mental faculties that have been so preoccupied with considering, analyzing, and consuming negativity. You know, always repeating, always having on loop the fear of it, the loss of it, the tragedy of it. Again, all sorts of, I want to say, natural elements of life. Always specifically filtered through the human experience. But these natural elements, they come for all of us. No one is spared. And out of nowhere, you could, because there's this idea of God, this idea of Christianity, of a higher power, of the gospel, and Jesus Christ, and what he did to atone for the wrongdoings of all of humankind. We all know the story. To just say, you know what? Because it's my choice, because it's going to come down to that one final conclusion, okay? Contemplated and swirled all about in the mind. And I think eventually it drops somewhere down into the heart where it is cemented. And it's that decisive conclusion that any human being is going to have to come up with on their own. They say, I do, or I do not believe. I look at all those who do believe. And now, where it starts to get a bit uncanny, here is where it really begins to, it really just starts to exceed logic. Is that you really will have human beings, their quality and daily condition of their lives are changed forever because of the belief. Say what you want. Say what you want. Oh, more so than usual. No, really, whoever you are, looking, listening at me, say what you want because you are entitled to. Your interpretation of what's really going on and how it's really happening is just as good as anyone else's. Right? That is the, that is an opinion formed within of an individual. Faith is the same. Faith is the same in this way. So what's going on here? Why is it only faith? You can come up with anything. That is so true. In the realm of the human imagination, any kind of thought, idea, concept, that's where it's going to spring from. And, all of them with, various effects and honestly, consequences. There we go. Real effects and consequences to any number of occurrences when you're trying to imagine something. That one right there, the Christian faith. Why? Why is it that the one that is the Christian faith, why does that one lead to, from what I've seen, this is very, very personal. Because I believe the rest of tonight's episode will be quite anecdotal. Because I'm only going off of what I've actually been there in real life for. I've seen with my own two eyes. I've heard with my own two ears. I was there. And by the power of faith, simply because through some sort of event, remember now, some sort of life-changing event, something like that, this human being went from this state of life and mind to this state of life and mind. Faith being the only differentiator. Brother, I've seen Satanists. I've seen trauma victims, SA victims. I've seen addicts of all kinds. I've seen possessed. Not in the movies. Like, really, this is something crazy going on right here. And you are not going to be able to just take Tylenol for that one. All sorts of just, oh God, really, really difficult situations. Because the true macabre nature of life is beyond words. How gruesome and grim it can really get. You see people go through this and they make it out. Not only do they make it out alive, not only do they survive, they become a completely different person. They attain a new evolution, I will say. Is that too dramatic? Oh, we all about the being fully dramatic here at the Pillars of Man podcast. But nothing short. Nothing short of some of just the most radical transformations I've ever seen. Again, we revert to this most pestering question. How? How? Simply because they're going to truly believe in something that they will never is tough. I grew up as a kid. I always grew up. Adults always warned against never. We always heard never say never. And it does have merit. But this one comes close. This one challenges never say never. You know, you're never going to be able to receive that confirmation. You're not going to be presented a file case, a case file, either or, where you're going to get all these documents and it's going to be, in written detail with signatures and contracts and all that. That here he is. This is the God. This is your God, the Christian God. No, no. From first breath to the last breath, it will always have to be that again and again and again, when you would ask that individual, you really do? You truly do believe? Yes or no? Yes or no is the evidence. Yes or no is as concrete as it gets. You cannot transmute faith past the human thought of yes or no. It's not, I don't see that as possible. All I know is that what is possible because of faith, because of your personal choice of yes to Christ or no, ain't no way that stuff's real. That could spell the the entire difference between two completely different versions of your life. So, okay, this is crazy. This is absolutely bonkers because, I mean, too many of us have been here too often where you really do. You are just racked with guilt and shame. You've done some gnarly things, gnarly in the good way. You've had it rough. You come from rough. Maybe it still is right now, today. It's been rough. Really, any walk of life. No one is exempt. No human being can be born without a necessary piece of criteria. No, it's almost as if God, Jesus Christ, it's almost as if the way they designed it, your birth, your inception into the human experience is the one and only criteria you needed to be accepted if you would so choose faith in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Never before have I seen, and you call again, hey, you call it whatever you want. It goes by so much, honestly. Some see it as a way of life. Some see it as an ideology. Some see it as an a mental parasite. You really, so many different ways to frame it. But it's just remarkable to me that I cannot attribute any other I cannot attribute to any other thought, idea, concept, whatever, feeling, whatever, that leads to such profound metamorphosis. That's why faith is so interesting to me. You know, take, I mean, hey, you could have faith in anything. That's the thing. You can choose to believe in anything. It's just choosing God. Choosing God is going to it's going to submit you to some very real and specific guidelines, procedures, uh, downright rules, laws of existence to abide by. And the more that you exist and live outside of quote unquote the faith, outside of Christianity, I would have to argue the more vulnerable you are to all elements of life that have the potential to harm you. And what's crazy is having faith or not having faith has nothing to do with you and me being at the very mercy of all of these things. Every moment of every day, every second of our lives, it really could go down. It really could get really freaking spicy. It could heat up real quick at simply the volatile nature of life and existence. What is so grounding? It's so relaxing. Oh my God. It's really just like you really pull up next to dad. And of course, he's chilling. He's dad. What could bother God? Like, come on now. Um, to the best of my knowledge, there isn't even like a Mrs. God. If there was a Mrs. God, then it's like, okay, wow, so much makes sense now. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not just me. It really isn't. Oh, so that's why my wife nags me. This is why I get it. I get it so bad sometimes from the wifey. Oh, because dad gets it from nope. Nope. No, it's not how that works. No. Last I checked, God is just God. Just him. He's solo dolo. Like he's really got this. Needs nothing and no one. That's just like that's how the beginning of even contemplating the entity of God within the human mind begins. He is outside of all of it, and he is all of it. He made all of it. So I would say that definitely has some perks. And one of them has got to be, yeah, you're not gonna be too stressed. You're not gonna be too worried, like ever. And then here we are, his children, right? His creations, worrying all the freaking time, worrying our faces and our butts off every single day. And then so faith is kind of that connector where, maybe for a little bit, at least a little bit every single day. my mentor was like, can we push that up to 3? Can we get that up to 3? Oh, you daily? That's dope. Try 3 times a day, he said. Really try and connect with God. And I'm not, I'm, what I'm saying, life be life. And so I try to get it up to 3, but, still working on it. I'm just so happy that, yeah, at any time I'm able to really try and get real close, pull up on God and do what he does. Relax. Like just chill, like just really put my feet up, like just not worry about it. Knowing that, hey, maybe, everything really is going to be okay. I can do that. I can allow myself to hold on to this true and final outcome. It's going to be all right. It might not be all right now, but it's going to be all right. And that's not even, Christianity is not even like that. It's not that, it's not just, oh, okay, God, sure, I'll say he's real. Yes, yes, Count me in. I am a believer. And so now give me my peace and joy and whatnot. No, there's actually so much to do. That's the thing. There's actually so much to do. There's actually so much to live for. And there's actually so much to learn and to try and to fail at and then get up and try again and to implement and to apply. It's so much. Arguably, it's the most in Christianity. That's a hot take. Okay, I admit that's actually a pretty nuclear take because I don't even really know that much about other religions. For all I know, Christianity is actually modest compared to the actionable steps of other, religious programs. I didn't mean it like that. I just couldn't help myself. I'm not saying there's it's not some kind of prepaid program. Okay. I mean, be careful, depending on where you're at and who you're talking to, it very well could be. Let me tell you right now, no, that's not how that works. Some other people, I mean, they're trying to make it work like that. Then there may be some, how should I say, ulterior motives right there. But no, Pops is down with you. I mean, God is down with you if you down with God. How can someone be down with God? You gotta believe. You gotta have the faith. It's so simple, but it's also everything. And because it's everything, life will take all of itself and test you in your faith. Oh, really? Oh, you down? Okay. With him of all people, him? All right. And it's just the rest of your life is really going to be put to the test. And I mean, how so? I think it will be put to the test when, you're hungry. I'm not just talking about food. You're thirsty. I'm not just talking about water. You have desires. You have things that you want. And sometimes life will give you an opportunity for things that you want at the expense of other people, at the expense of other human lives, at the expense of the quality and the condition of other human souls. And yet, all the same, your desires and what you want and what you so desperately need, they will ravage you, brother. Right here, it is at this moment on tonight's episode, I believe you know exactly what I mean. You know exactly what I am talking about. It is crazy. It is both abyssal and insatiable. Faith is what would have you fight back against it simply because of the way that it is taught. I've never been a fan of rules. Was it my generation that coined it? I genuinely can't remember. Possibly not. This saying may very well be much, much older than the millennial generation. But there's I guess I can see my squad coming up with this one, where when I was growing up, you would always hear people say, "Mm, right on the tip of my tongue, right on the tip of my tongue." We'll see if I can bring that back. In the meantime, faith is just, it's absolutely, it's so logic and reasoning defying, because the results of it are equally so. You really got some human beings, you really see some people who they have become different versions of themselves. They have gone through such difficult times and situations, okay, based off this essence of faith that so many believers, they say, not possible. I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't I couldn't have. And they don't say, well, because, you know, um, God came down and he grabbed me. Or it's like, oh, I had hands pull me out of the fire, pull me out of the car, pull me away from the oncoming vehicle. I I I saw angels carry my child out of the river, out of the pool. I just went to go to the restroom, and the lifeguard, for some strange reason, had to walk away for a second. That's how my kid didn't drown. I saw two. No, it's not like that. It's always because I believed. It's always because I know that there is a God. I know that Jesus Christ is coming back. I know that he is the savior of mankind and the Son of Man. I believe in heaven, in God, the angels, the fall of the morning star. It's so. What do you mean? It's so. Of course, I know he's real. Of course, I believe. Right? It's the believers look at you as the non-believer. They look at you like the one with 5 heads. It's really that kind of concrete, unshakable belief. And it's just, wow, absolutely astounding to me that when you give it a chance and you try and really, put yourself in that spot, okay, you know what? All right, let me see what this is all about. Okay. This is all it's really cracked up to be, as Christians would compel others to absolutely agree with them on. It simply has to be experienced. You really have to try. That's what I would say. You really do you have to try. You pray. You pray and you address God and you talk to God. And you tell him everything that you want to, anything and everything. That's your Father. For he is the Father of all. And you really pour your heart out to him. And you pray. And you pray about what you want. Yeah, and you pray about change. And you pray about, I really hope my life, could turn out like this and whatnot and all that. And after you're done, after you've given all your hopes and your dreams to God, you go check out his manual, the Bible, and you get to it. You try and really stick by it. It's very difficult. It's so hard. I fail all the time. It's actually quite embarrassing. Makes me feel shame. Makes me think to myself, like, dang. The Christians have this saying for believers who believe, but yet they still live by the actions of a non-believer. And these Christians are they're doing the starter step between belief and non-belief, faithful and unfaithful, lukewarm. Be with God or be without God, hot or cold. Can't be in between. And a lot of us, well, I'll speak for myself. I do that dance all the time in between. And I'm realizing I do that dance because my faith is not strong enough yet. It is not because I don't know enough theology. It's not because I haven't finished reading the Bible. It's not because I can't quote scripture. It's not because I am not able to, with proficient prose, logic, and rhetoric, defend the existence of God. It's not because of any of these things. It's because I don't believe enough. My faith just isn't that strong enough, solid enough, concrete enough. And I've been trying to very carefully watch the growth of my own faith. Very difficult. But the reason why I'm trying to track it is because I'm just trying to see, you know, is this placebo? Is this what are we witnessing? Is this mass historical confirmation bias? What is really going on here? I mean, because these people like, wow, I've been there in church, virtual, IRL. I've been there, and I mean, these people, it's just they it's not that I don't want to make them sound like rude or weird. It's not like that. It's just these people really, believers, Christians. These people, they you get in there and they really make you feel like it would be strange not to believe. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's weird to not think to think that it all goes black. There's nothing. You know, we all come from primordial hot soup. I don't know. I don't know if we do. We do not. I just know what I believe, and I couldn't tell you though on this podcast. I'll try and take the time. That's for sure. It'll be a lot of my deep dives on God, and tonight was on faith. But I really want to try to take the time to tell you that I've been on some absolute adventures myself with that, and I'm just a completely different person in every which way. And all of it traces back to the fact that, for me, it really started where one day, after decades of, I would laugh. Like before I was born again, I would laugh at the idea of God. And I would have very, um, uh, in a very douchey way, I would have very quickly started flinging insults and jokes like cope, delusion, weak even. I used to be such a butthole. Still am, working on it. Because it's like, oh, you need fairy tales to get you through life. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I was that guy. And that's why when I look at when I self reflect tonight on just the before and after, it's breathtaking. It is experience. It is life. It is existence defining. It is beyond measure and it is beyond words, is what it is. Simply because of faith. I don't know if you believe. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Once again, tonight was really just some food for thought where I leave you with, look, bro, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose if you were to begin seeking God yourself? Don't be fooled. Don't you think for a second you need anything. But I don't have a Bible. I've never been to church. I don't know any Christians. I don't no. That's not how it works. Find Dad. Seek God. Just seek God. Truly. He'll know. He'll know if you mean it or not. Mean it. Mean it. Really look for God. I went to I would go to a river. Yeah. I never took me a couple years, took me like a few years to even go to my first church. I would go to the water. I would go to the woods. I would just walk through the freaking city with my earbuds playing some music. And I really looked for God. Really just put myself in this place where, you know what? All right, I'm going to talk to myself. But at the same time, even though that is what I'm doing, that's not what I'm doing. I'm going to truly speak to God. He's omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent. Look for him. Look for him, brother. Draw near to him. He will draw near to you. I thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for checking tonight's episode out. And if you like content like this, that's kind of what I do here. I go into everything and anything that goes into God, anime, bodybuilding, philosophy, movies, even, all for the sake of male self-improvement. Thank you so much for checking out the Pillars of Man podcast, and hope to catch you real soon for my next episode. But until then, take it easy, take good care of yourself, and I love you so much. Peace.